party on Tuesday, September 10th at Crooner Supper Club. Enjoy pizza, snacks, a cash bar, and debate bingo as we watch Kamala Harris smack down Donald Trump. Tickets are just $25 and include food and fun. Get yours now at am950radio.com. Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
Broadcasting live on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota. Broadcasting in the evenings on WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk. And in the nighttime, 1150 AM, KKNW in Seattle. It's the Matt McNeil Show for your Thursday. Good to have you with us. Cliff Schechter will join us here in about a half an hour to talk about some politics. I got a humdinger of an observation coming up here in the 4 o'clock hour about Minnesota politics. Patrick, how are we today?
Doing pretty well. How are you today?
I'm doing okay. This has been a god-awful busy day for me. I've been running around in 1,000 different things, trying to get a bunch of stuff done. This is like the first time I feel like I'm relaxing. I'm just going to take it easy the rest of the show. It's been hectic. I got dancing tonight. I can't tell you how happy I am. I took some dancing classes. I am taking some dancing classes. But it was one of those things. No, it's not like I'm going to be, unbuttoned shirt guy, satin shirt, whipping people around on the dance floor. It's not exactly, I'm not going to be like Silver Linings Playbook either. But it's just something that we wanted to do, and I enjoy doing it. And my wife and I, when we were at the state fair, they had a big band that was playing, and we went out and danced, and we were like, wow, when did we actually get good? We actually were, it's coming through. Okay, I'm Frankenstein. I'm serious. Me on a dance floor, dance, rhythm, No, it actually is even worse than that. But apparently you can trade an old dog a new trick, and have you ever done any dancing or anything like that?
I have not. I think I've had friends who were into the swing dancing thing, but I just never, unfortunately, got into that kind of stuff.
When you were in school, did they make you dance in gym?
Probably at some point, but I can't specifically tell you. Yeah, they did that in like 8th grade. I can't tell you that.
I do remember that, and that was like one of the first times you realized, oh, I'm not the pretty person, because it was like 7th or 8th grade, and they're like, all right, match up with a boy, and like 8 girls go for this one guy, and I'm just here waiting for anybody who wants to dance with Frankenstein. Hey, as long as you don't have a torch and pitchforks, I'm fine. Wait a second. Maybe I'm not as attractive as I think I am. All righty. I'm dancing with the teacher. Okay, fine. Not the first time I've done that. 952-946-6205. 952-946-6205. I'm doing that because I got dancing tonight. I'm going to go dancing. Costa Rica Ballroom. I'm going out there. I'm going to be the great thing is the instructors look so much better than I do, and yet they never once say, "Wow, really?" That's always been thank you. I'm glad I am not the eyesore that I could be. 952-946-6205. 952-946-6205. We should do. Let's do this. Let me pull up CNBC here, and just take a look-see-poo at where our stock is of the day on Donald J. Trump, because it wasn't doing too good. Oh, there it is. It was for the day. It was up 42. It was up 42 cents for the day, but it's already down 5 cents after hours. So there's a thing called volume on the stock exchange. That's basically the amount of activity that's going around with any stock, sells, buys, that sort of thing. The volume of stuff. I was looking at his volume, and it was unbelievable how much volume was on the stock exchange of this, which basically tells me this. Donald Trump has called up all of it. Hello, billionaire buddy. It's me, Donnie T. Hello. I need to take $1 million or so and go buy my stock and prop it up for me so I can sell it at a profit and get away from it. And yeah, you're going to lose a bunch of money, but love me, America, mega. That's what it screams to me. His volume, his stock is at $17 a share. Reddit, which is at $54 a share, had half the volume. It just is. They are making calls. I need you to make a donation to the Trump campaign by buying Trump stock. They have to, you see, they have to get it up to, I think by the end of this month, he can start selling it at the end of this month. And he clearly is going to have to. I mean, he just does not have the money. And so he desperately is trying to get that stock back up in price beforehand. Once again, a stock, if it's worth $5 a share now, I'd be surprised. Anyone that bought it at 70, you're an idiot. You're an absolute idiot. You thought that that was going to be a good idea. Even if it was available for, say, $4 a share, I wouldn't buy it because it's Trump and Truth Social, for goodness sakes. They disgust me. I would never buy the product. But he desperately has to keep it somewhere close to where, I mean, just now he's down to less than, over 2/3 of his value is gone. He needs the money. He needs the money, whether it's for his campaign or whether it's for, his trials and the civil cases he has to pay money out for. Yeah. Anyway, he today decided to share with us the other economic juggernaut of stupidity, Elon Musk, and what his plans for Elon would be. Now, I want to remind you, Elon Musk took over Twitter, which was a $44 billion company. I saw one estimate, it's down to about $4 billion. They just are not making any money. They are just not making any money whatsoever. And that's what happens when your site becomes the most attractive posts on Twitter today are the insanely misogynistic dudes who are like, show me your body. That's the least offensive. The racism, the pro-Nazi stuff, the bigotry, it's just a cesspool of hate right now. That's what Twitter has become. It's a cesspool of hate. And it's not going to, that's not going to turn around either. And my gut feeling is that I think Elon Musk is going to try everything in his power to fix the election with Twitter, including misinformation campaigns. And then the second the election is over, when when Trump loses to Kamala Harris, he's going to, I have no idea where you're talking about. We were always a neutral party. I'm selling Twitter because he doesn't want anything to do with it. It's been a massive failure. On top of that, I mean, Elon Musk's track record, the Cybertruck. I mean, that is one of the worst business decisions ever, was releasing the Cybertruck. It's got so many problems. It makes a Chevy Citation look like a decent car. And if you're old as like I am, and you remember how the Chevy Citation was a horrific car, that was Chevy's attempt to get into the hatchbacks, and it was just a mess. But that car at least drove every once in a while. You could go through 2 or 3 inches of snow in a Chevy Citation. You can't in a Cybertruck. Oh, God. It just, yeah. So Elon Musk is not exactly the guy I would bring on, but Trump has plans for Elon. Trump said during an economic speech on Thursday that if elected to his administration would create an Elon Musk-inspired government efficiency commission that would audit U.S. agencies. Now, reminder, he took over Twitter, immediately fired like half the staff. And then apparently, I don't know if this is true or not. I saw this and I was not really reported, but apparently he had to bring a lot of these guys back because the mainframe infrastructure of the social media site was collapsing. And if not for the engineers that basically knew how the system operated, helping to get it back up and make sure it was reinforced, for lack of a better way to say it, it would have completely collapsed. And like I said, I've not seen anything on that. That was one, I remember reading that. I don't know if that was true, but they had a lot of problems early on after he canned a bunch of people. And so this is the guy, a guy who has proven that, and it's the standard Republican thing. It's like they don't want to acknowledge that after Reagan fired all the air traffic controllers, the American airline industry did not work. I think it was like at 62% efficiency until Bill Clinton hired them all back. The American airline industry did not have a lot of problems before Ronald Reagan. And then Reagan fired all the air traffic controllers, and then it became a mess. And it was a mess for a long time, and it still hasn't really gotten much better. But they don't want to focus on the fact that he created the mess. They love the narrative of he was a tough guy. That is what they like. And of course, Elon is their new golden idol. Trump backed the idea first pitched by the Tesla billionaire weeks ago before a group of high-profile academics and business leaders at the Economic Club of New York. Musk has said that his commission would aim to examine how agencies are spending money and eliminate unsensible spending. Dear Lord. I will create a government efficiency commission. I will create a government efficiency commission tasked with conducting a complete financial and performance audit of the federal government and making our recommendations and drastic reforms. Doesn't sound totalitarianistic at all, does it, guys? No. Trump also said he would make America the world capital for crypto and Bitcoin. Ah! Holy God. A line that got applause from the audience. The make-believe money, yay! I'll tell you what, why don't you just go to your Monopoly game you have in your house, pull that money out, because that's about as real as Bitcoin is, okay? Trump also said the nation should have sovereign wealth fund created with revenue generated from his tariff proposals. The profits, Trump said, could be used to pay down the debt. Notice, by the way, once again, you put the tariffs on him, guess who's going to be paying for it? That's right, all of us consumers. So basically, he's going to tax us through tariffs, tax the American people through tariffs, and then basically pay down the deficit, which is created worse because he gave all the money to the millionaires and billionaires. Musk pitched the idea to Trump last month during an interview he hosted with the former president on X. After the Wall Street Journal first reported earlier Tuesday that Trump's plan to adopt Musk's proposal, Musk said, "I look forward to serving America. The opportunity arises. No pay, no title, no recognition is needed. No, nor are you, really." He's already pitched his role there. God, he's just a character from a dictatorship, doesn't he? Trump's speech was light on details how such a commission might work, how it ultimately gets staffed and directed to yet to come. But it's a fantasy. They just start cutting, and then all of a sudden, when no one's getting any services, say, well, that's what happens. That's what happens. Yeah. Crazy. Freaking. Who is even thinking of voting for this guy at this point? How drunk are you? Ugh, it's the Matt McNeil Show.
Hey, it's Tom telling you about how switching to all-energy solar is more realistic than you think. You might assume solar is too expensive or not practical for your home or business. The truth is, if you have an electric bill and good sun exposure on your property, solar energy can work for you. In addition to the 30% federal solar tax credit, many communities and utilities offer extra incentives to make solar even more affordable. Plus, solar isn't just for higher income households. There are now several low and middle income solar programs available. The experts at All Energy Solar can walk you through the entire incentive application process to make sure your savings are maximized. Make 2024 the year your solar dreams come true with All Energy Solar. Discover how solar panels can fit into your future and potentially eliminate your current utility bills. Get a free quote from All Energy Solar today to learn how easy and affordable solar energy can be for you. Visit allenergysolar.com to take the first step toward energy independence.
Our democracy is under threat. Christian nationalism is on the rise, undermining the values we hold dear. But A.J. Peters is standing up for all of us.
I believe in a separation of church and state. No one should impose their beliefs on others.
A.J. Peters is fighting for
religious freedom for everyone, not just a select few.
Equal rights and justice, because our diversity makes us stronger.
Protecting our democracy from extremism and ensuring it works for all people.
A.J. Peters is committed to defending our human values and standing against Christian nationalism.
Together, we can keep our democracy inclusive and fair. I'm A.J. Peters, and I approve this message.
Vote A.J. Peters for a just and equitable future. Contact ajpetersforcongress.org. Paid for by the Campaign Fund for A.J. Peters for Congress.
Zip Zap Circus is coming to Minnesota for the first time ever. All the way from Cape Town, South Africa, this world-renowned company brings their acrobatic spectacle, Moya, to Children's Theater Company. Don't miss the stunning aerialists, comic jugglers, and unicycle dancers set to the energetic beat of South African pop music. Zip Zap Circus's Moya plays at CTC September 12th through October 20th. Tickets and information at childrenstheater.org.
Hi, I'm Chuck Manette, owner of Native Concrete and Masonry. With concrete and masonry adding substantial value to your home, it's always a great idea to repair your sidewalks or just add a beautiful new patio. Cracks or heaving in your sidewalks due to tree roots can be dangerous. Native Concrete and Masonry has helped clients across the metro to make their outdoor space safer and helped increase the value to their homes. For patios, sidewalks, driveways, or garage slabs, go to nativeconcretemasonry.com.
It's the Matt McNeil Show. Wow, I got one that's breaking here, which is just kind of hard to. Once again, it's just amazing how bad Trump's lawyers are, and this is okay. So they are back in D.C. right now with the January 6th trial with Trump, and the special counsel is trying to make arguments on this case. The defense made this statement: Justice Thomas directed us to raise this issue. The judge interjected, he directed you to do it? The defense, well, he didn't direct us to do it. Oh my God. So Justice Thomas has been consulting with Trump to help him in his legal cases. A Supreme Court justice has apparently, and once again, the defense was the ones that blabbed on this one. Okay. I'm somewhat stunned that this has not been more of what a Supreme Court justice apparently has been in contact with the president who tried to overthrow the government of the United States. His wife, who, by the way, once again, his wife is an active supporter of the overthrowing of the United States. That hag. And apparently, he directed us. Justice Thomas is this pro bono work that he's doing? Bonehead, maybe. That is, once again, the defense admitted this in court. Justice Thomas directed us to raise this issue. He directed you to do it? And that's when he didn't direct us. Good. I don't think you guys understand how the Jedi mind trick works. Okay. Who? What? I think they're going to do that Dave Chappelle thing where he tips over the pitcher and they all run for the doors. Oh my God. It is, yeah. Justice Thomas directed us to raise the issue. The judge, he directed you to do it? Defense, well, he didn't direct us. Yeah, that is, oh God. Oh God. But it brings up the point. Let me get into his wife, the treasonous hag. It is amazing that that there has been no consequences for either one of them in what is clearly a massive conflict of interest. Ginny Thomas, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, privately heaped praise on a major religious right group for fighting efforts to reform the nation's highest courts, efforts sparked in large part by her husband's ethics lapses. I'll tell you what, they're flowing out of him like an RV on America's highways, aren't they? Oh, see the sights. Thomas expressed her appreciation. This is Ginny Thomas. In an email sent to Kelly Shackelford, an influential litigator whose clients have won cases in the Supreme Court. Shackelford runs the First Liberty Institute, a $25 million a year organization that describes itself as the largest legal organization in the nation dedicated exclusively to defending religious liberty for all Americans. Well, not all Americans, just I'm going to guess it's mostly the Christian ones. But I don't know. I can't say for sure. Shackelford read Thomas's email aloud on a July 31st private call with the group's top donors. Thomas wrote that First Liberty's opposition to court reform proposals gave a boost to certain judges. According to Shackelford, Thomas wrote in all caps, "You guys have filled the sails of many judges. Can I just tell you, thank you so much." Now, once again, this is a group that's exclusively dedicated to defending religious liberty of all Americans, and here they are trying to stop court reform. So they're not just for that, they're for right-wing talking points. Shackelford said he saw Thomas's support as evidence that judges who can go out into the political sphere and fight were thankful for First Liberty's work to block Supreme Court reform. It's neat that those of you that care call on the call that are part of protecting the future of our court, and they really appreciate that. On the same call, Shackelford attacked Justice Elena Kagan as treasonous and disloyal after she endorsed an enforcement mechanism for the court's newly adopted ethics code in a recent public appearance. He said that such an ethics code would destroy the independence of the judiciary. This past weekend, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson said she too was open to enforceable ethics code for the Supreme Court. After the call, First Liberty sent a recording of the 45-minute conversation to some of its supporters. ProPublica obtained that recording. Like I said, these guys are not the smartest people you'll ever meet. Ginny Thomas, of course, did not respond to a repeated request for comment. First, I'm serious. If the Democrats get the Senate and impeach this guy and pull him out, or the House, get the House and the Senate, impeach this guy, because he clearly, my guess is going to be, if he gets impeached in the House and he has to go defend himself in the Senate, he'll resign from the court as opposed to have to explain RVs and advising Donald Trump on legal matters. First Liberty Institute did not directly respond to ProPublica and document its questions about the recording. Hiram Sasser, an executive general counsel at First Liberty Institute, said in a statement, First Liberty is extremely alarmed that the leftist attack, mind you, once again, they only reported on the meeting they proudly had, is extremely alarmed at the leftist attack on our democracy and judicial independence. It is fighting to bring attention to this dangerous threat. It's shameful that the political left seems perfectly fine destroying democracy to achieve the court's decisions they favor instead of working through democratic and constitutional means. Yeah. The July 31st, mind you, this is the right are the ones that tried to overthrow the government of the United States when they lost in 2020. Democratic and constitutional means. The July 31st call led by Shackelford came shortly after Biden had announced support for a slate of far-reaching Supreme Court changes. Biden endorsed term limits for justices, a constitutional amendment reversing the court's recent presidential immunity decision, and a binding ethics code for the court's 9 members. Kagan's comments came before Biden's. She did not mention any of the structural proposals Biden endorsed. I'm going to guess that Clarence Thomas was out in his RV and got texted as he was swimming or fishing at some private, billionaires resort where the private billionaire's got 3 cases coming up in front of the court here. And hey, let's get you some more filet mignon, man. All right, great, man. The defense team, Trump's defense team. Justice Thomas directed us to raise this issue. The judge, he directed you to do it? Defense. Well, he didn't direct us to. Okay. When you get in bed with the stupidest people in the world, this is what you get. Unbelievable. Cliff Schechter when we come back. It's the Matt McNeil Show.
Spring and summer is the right time to install your fireplace. Find your perfect fireplace and have it installed and ready before the cold weather hits again. If you already have a wood fireplace, consider a fireplace insert or check out the entire selection at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces on East Franklin and Riverside in Minneapolis. It will transform your inefficient fireplace into a reliable, environmentally smart heating system.
This is Peter Solak, owner of Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. Have you ever watched your dog or cat curl up in front of a fire? It's primordial, the way it touches both the animal and the human. We know that fire reaches deep into the heart and soul. Let us show you how. We have over 35 working units on display here in Minneapolis. We are located at the east end of Riverside Avenue at 2901 East Franklin. From I-94, take the Riverside Avenue exit. Find us also online at woodlandstoves.com. Let us help you make a fireplace part of your life.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
Hi, Matt McNeil here. You're listening to the best progressive radio in Minnesota. It's AM 950, KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
At Better Futures Minnesota, we support Minnesota's environment by working towards zero waste and the transformation of the lives of men in our workforce development model. Better Futures Minnesota engages men with histories of incarceration and homelessness. Our approach reaffirms each man's dignity, instilling self-discipline and behaviors that empower them to achieve self-sufficiency and a better future. We set hard-to-employ men on a pathway to independence through employment in our reuse retail warehouse and work crews, specializing in building deconstruction, property maintenance, appliance recycling, and janitorial services. We strive to create a sustainable future where social equity, economic opportunity, and environmental justice intersect. By addressing these interconnected challenges, Better Futures Minnesota works towards building resilient, healthy communities for all Minnesotans. We believe that true sustainability can only be achieved when all members of our community can thrive. Join us in making a difference. Visit us at betterfuturesminnesota.com and donate today.
AM 950, KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Hi, this is Frank Brown of Minuteman Press Uptown with a question for our local leaders. How do you reward your employees? How do you appreciate your business partners? Thousands of local organizations just like yours count on Minuteman Uptown for promotional products. We craft custom awards and plaques. We print your logo on apparel, office supplies, and thousands of other items. Minuteman Uptown helps you reward employees and stay top of mind with customers and vendors. We print everything. Contact us today at mpuptown.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for partly sunny skies today with the high near 75. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 52. And Friday, sunny with a high near 67. Discover Eat Local Minnesota, your guide to locally owned Minnesota restaurants and food purveyors. Enjoy high-quality food, unique dining experiences, local foods, and vegetarian options with every dollar you spend staying local. Some of those great options include the Great Wall Restaurant, Crooner Supper Club, and Cafe Latte. Find more at eatlocalminnesota.com.
It is the Matt McNeil Show here on your Thursday. 952-946-6205. 952-946-6205 is the phone number. Waiting for Cliff Schechter. Hopefully he'll be joining us here fairly soon to talk about various things. But I wanted to bring in, once again, one of the things which is truly amazing if you've not seen this, because Governor Walz is not like anyone else that you've ever seen doing politics. He's not like anyone else. He's out in Pennsylvania. He's out there. He's dealing with the various folks that are out there in regards to talking to farmers. He's at a dairy farm, and they're going to feed some cow a big bottle, like it's a big baby bottle, right? And watch Walz. He clearly knows what he's doing, and very compassionately helps the cow get onto the nipple of the milk jug and get the milk, and then starts talking like he's done it 100 times. And the first thing I said to myself is, could you ever see Vance or Trump doing anything like that? It's so natural and so real to watch him do this. I mean, Vance would look at him and go, "Ah, you're a cow. How long have you been a cow for?" You know, and you're like, "Oh my God." Cliff Schechter, I imagine, has something to say about this. Cliff Schechter, of course, the Cliff's Edge is the YouTube page. Not only subscribe to the YouTube page, but he's got his Patreon there. Make sure you subscribe to that. Help bring more great content from Cliff Schechter out there by going to Cliff's Edge on YouTube. Hi, Cliff.
Hey, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing well. Have you ever given a milk bottle to a calf before? Could you do that? If someone said, "Here you go, here's a milk bottle, there's a calf, make sure the calf gets the milk."
I think I did that. Yeah, actually, we went out to the western part of Ohio. This is now a decade and a half ago. I was the comms director for the state treasurer here. And so he was out campaigning, and I'm pretty sure that I did that. It's hard to remember, but we definitely were among the various animals, among the cows and the sheep, and I just can't help it. Like, my wife makes a joke that, we've got cats, right, who I love, but we don't have any dogs. My wife makes a joke that we have our house, we go to the dog runs up to me because it senses that I love them, because I do. I like animals, actually, I think, better than people, certainly better than MAGA people by a lot. So I mean, yeah, if you're a Tim Walz kind of guy, you can do that. Now, look, in JD Vance's defense, I'm pretty sure there are a couple sofas that have had some really nice, smooth nipples that he's gotten in on. So you can't fully count him out when it comes to nipples.
Well, I will say this. If you're talking about how the GOP, if anyone wants to get mad at Cliff for his comment about animals and the GOP, Kristi Noem gravel pit. That's all we have to say. The gravel pit with Kristi Noem. These people.
I wouldn't say on here, Matt, what that made me want to do.
Oh, yeah.
Because when I heard that with that dog, I'd like her to someday have the fear that dog may have had. And I'll leave it at that, because you hear that the Huckabee family killed, one of those sons killed a dog. I mean, you see this again and again with because you get a sign of loving animals is a sign of empathy and compassion. And MAGA losers who walk into donut shop and say, "Hello, may I have the glazed, or should I do something else?" don't really know how to empathize and get along with people. Part of having an EQ, where you know how to relate to other people, is having the ability to relate to other people. And if you can't relate to them, you ain't relating to animals. So, Tim Walz went there. I mean, if JD Vance went there, man, there'd be milk squirting all over the place. Thing would be kicking him in the face to get off of it. I mean, it'd be unbelievable. Probably a lot like what JD Vance experienced in college, actually.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a candidate, vice president or president, who, I want to be careful here, because I don't think, not everyone is unattackable. But I mean, they've come after him lately. Here are the big things. Of course, when he was a kid, he threw up in a station wagon. That he uses a straw. That he waves at people too much. I mean, this is clearly the technical example of grasping at straws. And the reason why is that they don't know how to attack him. They don't know how to go after him, because he is one of the most realistic human beings that's ever run for one of these seats, at least in my lifetime.
Yeah, well, I think they've had trouble with both of them. Tim Walz, even that funny song, which has been like one of my most viral videos. I don't know if you saw the one by Nick Offerman about being a Kamala man. Was like, in the middle, found a way to say, "I'd like to have a beer with this guy," or something with Walz. I mean, Walz is just somebody, it's so funny. The old Republican test, they used to love doing that one when the Democrats were the more stiff ones, like John Kerry. Like, who'd you like to have a beer with? You never hear that anymore. I mean, like JD Vance, no. I'm sure there are a lot of people that didn't show up for beers with JD Vance through his entire life, which is why he hates all women. And Donald Trump's the type of guy that would sit there, drink your beer, and make you pay for it, and probably insult your wife and then walk out. So I don't really, they're awful. They either are completely socially inept, or they're complete a-holes. I think I can say that. Yeah, or there's some combination of both in Donald Trump's case. And so, I mean, we've been heading towards this for a while, and we're at almost the purest distillation. And you've talked about this very eloquently, even fit movies like Armageddon into it. You've talked about this, and I've spoken about it too, which is they are the party of now. They are a collection of losers, of deplorables. It's not to say every Republican is, certainly not every Republican. And there are some people that sadly just, well, my dad voted Republican and my granddad, so I'm going to. I'm not saying it's every, but the core people that show up to MAGA events and believe in their stuff, that core 30% or whatever, are the losers among us. They're the people they're the dispossessed, the jobless, or the angry, the resentful, the ones that didn't have any friends in high school, the ones that have some psychosexual weird thing going on where they either can't accept that they're gay or they can't accept, that sex is an act between men and women and it just scares them. And so they're incels, there's just something strange and weird and off about all of them, and MAGA is like flypaper that's attracted all of them, which is why so many of them also are criminals and are ethically challenged and the rest of it. And so what do you get on the other side? The other folks, Tim Walz. You brought him up, Kamala Harris. When did you turn black? Yeah, that was an effective attack. You laughed too much. Well done there, guys. They've been failing as badly with her, and they've admitted it. Like I was reading an article, they're hoping for a Hail Mary, so just prepared for God knows what for Trump to do, although I'm sure he'll go too far as usual because he's a toddler and it'll backfire on him, but in the debate, because they see that as their only chance at this point.
Well, and you're smart enough. You follow this stuff. My guess is going to be is their lack of being able to connect with a hit on either one of them is going to lead down about 2 weeks before the election, mid-October. It's going to go really ugly. They're just going to go racist 101. It's going, because they're going to be so desperate at that point that they'll only go into their wheelhouse, which is, not every Republican is racist, but the racists vote Republican. Let's just be honest about it.
Right.
And so they'll just go down to that well where they'll know they're just reaffirming that one niche group within the party, and it's just going to get ugly.
Well, as I said, look, they're all angry, resentful losers, and it's not just the two on the ticket. It's the ones who they have as surrogates on TV. Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, Tom Cotton. Is there a likable person among that group? So they'll have all these people like that out there, and these are all immoral, obnoxious, despicable. Every one of those people has been disavowed by people who helped them get to where they got to. John Danforth wants nothing to do with Hawley. George W. Bush, who Ted Cruz worked for, said he hated him. These are just despicable, horrible people. And so, no, you're right. What depth will they not sink to? They'll sink to any depth that they can sink to. And look, we've seen the depths that Donald Cruz. That's actually a good combo, the two of them. Donald Trump and that would be, by the way, Donald Cruz, the worst human being ever created. If you can combine those two, that's the only way he can get worse than either of them.
The absolute polar opposite of a Reese's peanut butter cup, Trump Cruz. Oh, God.
Well done. Yeah, that's known as the Reese's vomit cup, is what it is. They give it to you, and you immediately, it's like the Reese's Epicac cup. You take it and you hurl.
The grapes and toothpaste candy bar of America. Yikes. Harris has been doing a great job. She has.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, it's very interesting to watch the behind the scenes stuff. The Republicans have pulled out of New Hampshire. Basically, they're giving up on New Hampshire. I can tell you right now, they're not doing that much here in Minnesota, Virginia as well, where they thought they might have a chance. There are states. They're really focused.
All of those lean Democratic swing states are gone.
Yeah.
They're now trying to hold lean Republican swing states, a few of which they're in trouble in. North Carolina, they're clearly in trouble in.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a poll that's had Trump ahead there in a while. They've all had Kamala ahead. And again, I told you, look, they picked J.D. Vance. I don't know what Tim Ryan's staff was doing, but when the new thing comes out, when he ran for the Senate, every day about something horrible he said about women without children, and other. We're adding other groups to that now too. Like, I think J.D. Vance, now that more people have learned who he is, has heard him in Ohio. They're running ads here. What that should tell you, if they're running digital ads here, is they're not comfortable. And Kamala started that bus tour in Palm Beach. Should tell you it ain't comfortable in Florida for them either. So, they're trying to fight to hold on to those places, and then also grab Arizona or Nevada or Georgia or Michigan. I don't even think, if people come out and vote, everybody does their part. From what I've seen, and I'm not sure Michigan and Wisconsin are even in play anymore. I think Pennsylvania may sort of slightly be, and obviously we need to hold that. And then I think we'd have it with the one electoral vote. If we win the Omaha vote, we'd have 270. But we need to obviously you don't want it to be even close. So Arizona, Nevada, North Carolina, Georgia, these are all important because we need to blow this punk out and his whole stupid, inebriated toddler-like movement of pig ignorant fools, so that maybe they'd sit around and think a little bit about what they allowed a political party to become, a cult, and maybe reconstitute into something that resembles a political party in the United States of America.
And you and I mean, we've been following this long enough. And you brought something about ad spending in Ohio, in Florida, in Texas. They're buying ads in Texas. If you're having to spend ads money in Texas, that's money you're not spending elsewhere. And that's not something that was on their game plan. But you're right. They are focusing on those 5 states you brought up: Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, where they have to clean sweep those. And
correct.
If you get to a point where every bit of force you have is on states and you can't lose one of them, you and I have seen this before, that's dead man walking as far as a political campaign.
It is. And what it usually means also, as you said, they're spending money in these 3 key states, Ohio, Texas, and Florida, but he's not doing events for the most part in them. He did one here at one point, but whatever. They're not doing a lot in them otherwise. I don't know of turnout operations. So what that means is you could be in for a real surprise if you're only up by 2 or 3 points, and suddenly, Florida comes out from under you, or Texas or Ohio, and it very much could happen because they can't pay attention to these at all, really, because they're having to pay attention to the other ones. They're spending most of their money on Trump's legal bills, I think they're spending some amount on it on trying to make Lara Trump not sound like a screaming banshee when she sings. Not sure what they spent on that. It was not spent well, but
the auto-tune.
I mean, again, I don't know if you watch the show The Boys. It's violent. Yeah. It's not for everybody, but it parodies this age so well, because these superheroes who aren't really superheroes, they're evil people with powers, are really supposed to be based on our politicians, and the Homelander guy, the bad Superman, is supposed to be like Donald Trump and whatever. And all of them, while they're doing their superhero stuff, but they're hurting people, they're also filming fake movies and putting out videos. And it's like they're a parody of what the Republican Party is in our country at this point. And yet the RNC and Lara Trump and Donald Trump have found a way to parody The Boys parodying them. He's out there pushing these NFT cards. She's singing with that god-awful scrape metal against each other voice of hers. I mean, you're the chair of the Republican Party. We're 60 days out from an election, and you're releasing videos? What is wrong with you? I mean, they're just the griftiest of griftopia, like this cheesy, gauche, disgusting family, that has no values whatsoever. I mean, it's amazing.
Cliff Schechter joining us. And by the way, The Boys is fantastic, but it is hyper brutal. So just FYI, not for the
It's very violent. So.
It is very good. Cliff Schechter is not violent. He's straight on and absolutely sensational. Cliff's Edge is the YouTube page. Let's take a break. We'll come on back. It is the Matt McNeil Show here on your Thursday.
Hey, are you ready for a night of politics, delicious food and drinks, and great camaraderie? Then join us on Tuesday, September 10th at Crooner Supper Club for AM 950's Presidential Debate Watching Party. Doors open at 6 p.m., so grab your friends and get ready for an unforgettable evening. We'll kick things off with a live broadcast from 7 until 8 p.m., hosted by the one and only Matt McNeil and other AM 950 personalities. You won't want to miss their hot takes and audience banter. Then at 8 o'clock, it's game time. Watch Kamala Harris go head-to-head with Donald Trump in a debate that's sure to have everyone talking. Join fellow progressives, AM 950 staff, and hosts for a night seeing Donald Trump get exposed. We've got pizza, light snacks, a cash bar, and debate bingo to keep the night rolling. Tickets are just $25, including food and a front row seat to the action. Don't miss this chance to watch Kamala Harris take on convicted felon Donald Trump and his weird MAGA crew. Get your tickets now at am950radio.com because they're going fast. Again, secure your spot and get your tickets today at am950radio.com.
Greg Bakken here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
I've often said the RAV4 from Rudy Luther Toyota is the best vehicle I've ever driven, and I just had it proven to me once again. I drove around San Francisco and the Sierra Nevadas in a RAV4 hybrid, and it was sensational. The city driving was amazing, tackling tight corners and steep city streets while looking stylish. The real challenge came when we got up into the mountain roads, and the RAV4 carved them up like a hot knife through butter. And the hybrid fuel efficiency saved me over $200 on my vacation. Win, win, win. Test drive a Toyota RAV4 today at Rudy Luther Toyota, 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Hi, I'm Scott Shambot from Shambot Family Dentistry. We're the fear-free, shame-free dental office. We know dental anxiety and dental phobia are real. We'll take the time to get to know you and give you what you need to be comfortable at all times. We offer free nitrous oxide laughing gas and have high-tech options to help you feel calm and relaxed during your appointments. We'll help you get through every appointment in the most pain-free way possible. If you're having a dental emergency, we'll try and get you in the same day you call because we don't like to see anyone in pain. As my daughter Rachel says,
if you don't see my dad, please see another dentist. Take care of your teeth because they're the only ones you get.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. I've been going to Shambot Family Dentistry for years. They get me in last minute when I'm in pain and make regular checkups easy and comfortable.
Shambot Family Dentistry in Hopkins and St. Paul. Find them online at shamblotfamilydentistry.com or call 1-800-FIX-MY-TEETH.
It's the Matt McNeil Show here on your Thursday. Good to be with you, Chicago, Seattle, and Minneapolis, St. Paul. Cliff Schechter, kind enough to join us. Cliff, really quick here, let's make sure I mention the Patreon for Cliff's Edge. Cliff's Edge, of course, is your fantastic YouTube page. You got great videos up there. That Nick Offerman is brilliant. You've put a few of mine out there. Our friend Matt Robeson is on there as well. So there's all sorts of great content on there, as well as you also have a Patreon page, right?
I do. And it's just patreon.com, Cliff's Edge, all, so similar thing. Or even at YouTube, people can become members directly through YouTube. They can choose either, whichever one. And we're going to start producing extra videos on the side, extra content, stuff based on my inside knowledge, having, been a DC guy and some of these people that are now famous or more to the point, infamous, either debated or argued with in green rooms or told them to go do things to themselves that are anatomically impossible. And I'll tell those stories. So fun. Like the time I got in a fight in the green room with Kellyanne Conway. You'll want to hear all about that.
Oh, wow. All righty. Hello.
Not a physical fight, to be clear. She's a sort of Skeletor-ish. I wouldn't want to. Okay, I'm stopping now.
Really quick here, final point with you, the debate. Harris, I think, she's playing it right. She comes out, she says, the rules for the ABC debate, they're go against me. This is going to be tough on me. Today, a Trump spokesperson's out there saying Trump's going to dominate her. What you do not do before a debate is talk about how you're going to wipe the floor with the other guy. You tone it down, keep your expectations in check, because it really can, the only way it can go is down if you try to oversell it.
I mean, we didn't talk about the whole Russian thing today, but this is why this guy was such an easy mark for the Russians, because he's just the most pathetic. Any flattery, anything that builds up his ego, even when he needs to be saying, I will protect choice. He's like, but I'm the one who put the judges on the courts that got rid of it. He just can't help himself. So here again, he should be saying, I'm not a good debater. And, but of course, to make him happy, his people have to say, for the little baby boy to smile, he's a terrific debater. And all they do is raise his expectations. This is just the dumbest bunch of dummies I've ever seen. But that's what happens when you're emotionally. So.
Well, and he himself just, really, I think he's in such trouble with these debates, whether or not he shows up, because I think there is still a legit chance he bails on the debate coming next week.
I do too. He freaks out and he realizes he can't do it because he knows he can't stand, as we know, he's brought up the various aspects of her background, as we know. He can't stand a black woman is going to hand him his arse. She's a former prosecutor, has been brought up many times. She's a terrific debater. He's a goofball who's incoherent, and she will mock him for that. And he got her mic closed off while he's saying stupid things, but then her mic will be opened up and she can make fun of those stupid things. And she's quick at coming up with quips. I expect her, sorry, I should be doing, she's terrible. You guys, you should be ready. Kamala Harris cannot debate. Donald Trump is going to dominate her. Totally.
What she does so well is, well, that was a stupid thing you just said. Here's what actually is going to happen. And it's that little thing where you ignore the spoiled brat child throwing the temper tantrum and you move on to the adult talk. That's what's going to kill him in that debate.
You throw the one line and she'll do it. Well, that was kind of weird. And then go to, like something like that will throw him off. And I'm sure they're practicing that because that's what she's done with those press releases or when she said things. And so she has those one lines that will jab at him and he'll lose it. And he just, they're going to sedate the hell out of him. So because just to get him not, so it'll be interesting because either he'll lose it and be screaming or he'll be like the guy he was at that Detroit speech where he would, a week ago, he was like, hey, man, the economy's not looking good. That Joe Biden, man, 107% of jobs created were for immigrants. He did actually say that, by the way, that 107%, because that's the person the Republicans thought was worthy of nomination. A guy that believes there's 107%.
We need to do a contest of what would be the best one-liner she could throw. Did you say hi to Tulsi for me? Oh, God, could you just imagine that would rail him? All right. Cliff Schechter,
Sure.
Cliff's Edge is the YouTube page. It is sensational. Great content every single day. Some days, 2 videos a day. Go out there, follow that. Get on the Patreon page. Help support Cliff Schechter as well. Cliff, my show is better when you're on it, my friend. Thank you very much.
And I feel better when I'm on it. So thanks for having me, bud.
That Cliff Schechter, kind enough to take some time with us today to talk about some things. And just if I, one of the things I'll take a quick moment here and kind of I'm going to piggyback off of on there because by gosh, yeah, I didn't think about it when he just said that. All she has to do is throw the word, well, that was weird, into that debate, and Trump is going to lose it. He's going to lose it. As a matter of fact, if she did that, I imagine, can you imagine how angry he will get? Don't for 1 second, do not think for 1 second that line's not going to come out. I mean, as a matter of fact, Walls today he was in a Pennsylvania grocery store. He's talking to the baker there and talking about the donuts there, and they're talking about donuts, and he's looking at the donut options that he has, and he says, well, as you can look at me, you can clearly see I'm a guy that likes donuts. Then eventually pick up some pumpkin donuts. I said, we'll take the pumpkin donuts. Does it look like I'm a guy that doesn't know how to order donuts? And it's little things like that, which are just lethal, because you can't come back from that. It's just, I don't think Trump's going to do the debate. I think Cliff's on. I think Cliff and I keep thinking that he's already starting to say ABC is the least fair, worst network available. It's just, they're horrible. I think he's laying the groundwork for him to bail on this debate. Now, I hope he doesn't. We're doing a live event here in Minneapolis, St. Paul with the debate. So I kind of want this debate to go on. But yeah, man, dude, that is, oh God. Just watching him flounder, because it doesn't matter. You can prep Trump all you can. All you have to do is shake the proverbial keys in front of him. He's going to forget everything that he was taught, and he's going to go off. Let me tell you something about what I'm really good at. And I still think there's a legit chance that if Trump gets mad enough, he will use a derogatory term against Kamala Harris, whether against her being a woman or against her being a minority. And he will, and of course, then comes it wasn't really that bad. And that's not just from the right-wing news. That's going to be from like the Times and the Washington Post. They're going to be, well, we shouldn't judge. Oh, please. Mark my word. That's going to be interesting. Chicago, Seattle, talk to you tomorrow. Minneapolis, St. Paul, hour 2 up next.
Hi, I'm Bruce Klopfleisch. Join me every Sunday at 5 p.m. for Politics Matters. We'll talk about how civics, politics, and law affect you by highlighting a different topic each week. On this week's show, we continue our conversation on Article 1 of the Constitution, how your taxes will go up if Project 2025 is implemented, and how some people in Florida don't want kids to read books. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. for Politics Matters with Bruce Klopfleisch to discover why government and civics matter. And podcast the show anytime on your favorite app.
It's patio season. For a romantic evening out, a fun night with friends, or a delicious meal al fresco, On the Rocks and their 2 stunning rooftop patios is the perfect spot. Their menu features a wide variety of craft cocktails, beer, and wine, as well as a full menu from the Nicollet Diner. Visit On the Rocks at 1333 Nicollet Mall in Minneapolis, which is also the home of the Nicollet Diner and Roxy's Cabaret. More information at MPLSontheROX.com.
Join me, Tom Hartman, where smart people get their news. The Tom Hartman Program on AM 950 KTNF St.